friends of the French Foreign Legion, I am greeting you. You are very welcome on my channel. Hello. No coffee, no worky. Of course, I love this mug. It's kind of special taste, you know. We are in deep Germany, snowing outside. Maybe you can see it a little bit. I'm sitting in a small barrack. Everything is open. There's no door. There's no heater. So it's really cold. We have about -4 degrees outside, but it's okay. In one of my last clip, I talked to you why I left the French Foreign Legion, and today I will tell you a little bit. We talk a little bit together, you know. We have a very close communication to my community. This is very important to me. We talk a little bit about my last moments in the French Foreign Legion. So in the Légion étrangère, I was, as I hired in the Legion in February 85. I did exactly 17 years, and in February 2002, my time in the Legion was over. It was done. I was Adjutant. This was a high NCO rank. I was platoon leader. I have seen everything. I left the French Foreign Legion for the reason I already told you. And in the beginning of February, they put together a détachement, de ceux qui partent, détachement of the departers, you know, the leavers. So we took a boat. We has been shipped out from Calvi, Corsica, to be exact, from Bastia to Marseille, and then we joined Albania to have a small room in the Caple. Caple is the company administrative. You know, all the administrative things they do for the personnel of the Légion étrangère, and I found myself then in the Caple, in the second floor, in a small room, 2 meters to 4 meters. There was a bed, there was naked walls, a cupboard, and nothing. That's all, you know. And this was my last one of my last evenings in the French Foreign Legion. And the Caple, of course, is in the mother house of the first RE Regiment étranger. And we have been about 10 coming from rep to leave the Légion étrangère forever, you know. And so we came along somewhere in the evening. We took our room, we had a nice sleep, and then in the next morning we had a lot of things to do, administrative things, you know, running from one bureau to the other, from this bureau to the next one, and so on. And it was very curious, you know. It was like my first day in the French Foreign Legion, and two main parts of this in this day. The first thing was that we were making photos in front of the Monument de Mort, you know, and this is in the Bois Sacré when you come along to the quartier Vienno. When you cross the border, when you cross the door, and the first thing you see is the Monument of Mort. And you can reach the Monument more while walking through the Bois Sacré. And we made photos. Everybody made photos, individual photos. Then we make a photos group with the adjoint of the Comble, with the deputy of the commandant Légion étrangère. The Comble was Bernard Graille, General Bernard Graille, I know very well, as he was commander-in-chief in the 4th RE I think in 89. And his deputy was Colonel Petersheim. And the next thing was, the next emphasis was, of course, a speech with the Comble. But the Comble, Bernard Graille was not here. So we talked individually with Colonel Petersheim. And, you know, and I came in, I knocked on the door, I came in, I presented myself. And the first question was, Thomas Gast, give me a short aperçu how you lived your life in the French Foreign Legion during 17 years. And I thought it over, and I wanted that everything was fine for me. I had great times, you know, big adventures and good times and very good comradeship. The only thing was the intervention Operation Pelican in Brazzaville. I couldn't talk to nobody, and I tried to talk to him about this, but he stopped me immediately. And he said, stop. Thomas, it's over. Finish. Forget it. You know. So my wish to talk with somebody was not fulfilled. So we talked a little bit about nonsense, about we had a small talk, and then it was over, you know. And in the evening, I went outside in Albania town. with Fagarazzi, Sergeant Chef Fagarazzi. He's an Italian guy, you know, and we visited a small bar restaurant, Algerian bar restaurant, and we ordered something to eat and 2 bottles of wine, and I could not even remember what I ate this day, what was on my plates, what I put in my mouth every second. I don't know. I was not there, and we talked together, and but we didn't talk so much, you know. And this remembers me, my time, 15 years before, when I left the 3rd REI, and I was sitting in, I think it was in summer '87. I was sitting in a bar, in the bar next to the sea. It called, I don't know the Rocks, Bar the Rocks, something like this. And I was sitting there with Chagnot. I was caporal, he was caporal, and we were sitting there. 2 years French Guyana were over, and we, you know, it was really hard for us to leave the country. Guyana was a country, you love it or you hate it. But we loved it. We loved it. We deeply loved French Guyana. We had a lot of adventures, a lot of mission profonde, a lot of mission fluvial, a lot of adventures with garimperos, you know, hand down garimperos, gold diggers, and all the stars and the parts of the Ariane rocket, you know, and all the snakes, all the spiders, all the forest. The forest was magic for us, and we couldn't cope that we should leave our beloved French Guyana, but we knew that our time in the French Foreign Legion was not over, you know. We should both be ordered to join the 2nd Rep then, you know, and then a new page turned for new adventures. And so we drank a lot this evening. We were drunken both, and then we were sitting on the beach. We were singing Dans la brume la rocaille, you know, Dans la brume la rocaille. Great. This was a song of the 3rd Company of the 3rd REI, and our song, you know. And our commander-in-chief was Commandant Martin. This time he was the best commander I ever had in my life, you know. But we knew it will go on, you know. The show will go on, the adventures will follow. But while sitting with Fagarazzi, the Italian guy, Sergeant Chef Fagarazzi, in Albania, 15 years later, in the bar restaurant, while sitting there, we knew that it was over, game over, it was finished, and you know, and so we didn't talk a lot, and we didn't drink that much. I think only 1 bottle, and the other one was full when we left the bar, and we were in our heads, we were in another world, you know, and I cannot exactly give the content of this evening because I wasn't there. I wasn't there. French Foreign Legion, the game was over. I couldn't cope with the idea, you know. It was really hard to cope with. And yeah. So when the next day it was definitely over, I knew very well that I dressed myself in my tenue de sortie, you know. And I left Quartier Vienno after 17 years of services. In my right hand I had my bag, and it was strange. It was similar to the same bag I had when I joined the French Foreign Legion 17 years before. And in this bag I had all my memories, and it was strange. I left the gate. I made about 5 meters. I turned. I put the bag on the ground. I turned around. I saw the monument or more. I saw the sentinel there. The sentinel were looking at me. I was looking at the monument or more, and I gave the salute. And I was standing there for about 1 minute. You know, deep in my heart, I wanted to cry. Why not? You know, it's not a fault to be sentimental. You know, the French Foreign Legion was my life, and now I left my life. So when my salute was over, I turned the back definitely, and I did not look back. And then I found myself in a train heading straight to Germany, still wearing my old uniform. I didn't change my uniform for whatever reason, because this was what I planned before, but I didn't do it. So when we crossed the border in train to Germany, and people coming from other stations to join the train, and they were looking at me, people were looking at me, and I were looking at the people, and I found that the people were strange. Maybe I was strange. You know, I felt that this was not my world. This was not my world outside there, you know, the civil life. Okay, and then I arrived in Würzburg, yeah, Schweinfurt and Würzburg, where I had my home, was my home country, my hometown for the next couple of years. And I had not a big fear not finding a job, you know, because I knew that in the international security branch, you know, the security providers, even PMC or PSC, whatever, they were looking for men like me, old military guys, you know, because I talked, you know, at this time I talked 3 languages fluently, German, French and English, and afterwards I learned also Arab. I knew all the things about military life. I was platoon leader. I knew what it is to give instruction to the soldiers or to civil persons. I knew all the weapons or weapon systems, you know, so it was not, I was not afraid not finding a job. But in the first year I didn't want to go to work. No, I just want to come down. And anyway, the French Foreign Legion paid my wage until September 2002. So for the next 7 months, I get my wage from the French Foreign Legion as if I was active member. You know, I know you know what I am talking about. You know, the English language is not my mother tongue, so I was not afraid in the beginning. But then, you know, things happened that were fine and others were not fine. You know, I remember in the first couple of months I had a PAA, what means Période Adaptation en Entreprise, what means I was applicant to a firma, to a company. They didn't pay me, but they learned me. I learned a new job, you know, and this was kind of light and sound technician for a theater, you know. So I made light and sound for a theater called and for a piece called Good Morning Little Pig from Janusz. German guys know Janusz, and I was happy with this, you know. I was really happy with this, but it was strange. It was strange. I loved this job, you know, and when this was over, I had a really hard time because sometimes in the night I woke up, I was bathed in sweat, and I screamed. I give a hard time to my pillow, you know. I don't know why. And afterwards, in the morning, my wife told me that she had to leave the room, the sleeping room, because I was kind of nervous, you know. She was afraid of my behavior. And another day, she sent me to a supermarket to buy some detergent, you know, for the clothes, detergent and dog food. And when I was in the supermarket, I was there. I was standing of all the cupboards full with detergents. You have red ones, green ones, yellow ones, liquid ones, fast ones, you know. And I was there, and I was like, fucking hell, what do you want from me? You know? You know, I couldn't understand the word. I couldn't understand the people, the men and the ladies all around me being nervous, being stressed by everything, you know. And all I wanted in this moment was to leave the fucking supermarket and have a rucksack or a parachute on my back, you know, to leave this world I couldn't understand, you know. And then I felt that every time I did something, for me it was normal. It was normal level, but for others, for the civilian guys, it was a 400%. You know, I did a normal job, and for the other one, it was too much. It was about 400%. You know, this was what I was worried about this. They were worried about me. You know, and then the behavior next to my old friends and to my neighbors were not the same after 17 years of French Foreign Legion. I remember very well, I could talk to men for 10 minutes and then it's over. We did not have the same level of experience, the same level of life, the same things, histories to tell, you know. With legionnaires, it's not the same thing. I remember very well when I crossed legionnaires all over the world later in an airport. I saw from far, hey, this guy is a legionnaire. Even he didn't wear a uniform, but I recognized in his behavior, in his look, in his movement, how he looks around. This was an old legionnaire, a former legionnaire. And I say, hey, you're a legionnaire. And he answered in French language, yes. Where have you been? Which regiment? Second rep? Okay, me too. Let's have a coffee. And then we talked for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. The plane was gone, you know. Crazy. So I could talk with legionnaires easily. But with my neighbor, with my civil neighbor, here in Germany, no way. So this was very different and very strange. So in the beginning, I had a very real hard time in Germany. But then, 1 year later, in the years 2003, 2004, a next page opened for me, and it was the page of the private security. And then I took again the gun and my bag, and I headed for the next adventure, who should be my next preoccupation for the next 15 years. And I think this was good for me. Yeah. This was the first time after the first 2 years after I left the French Foreign Legion. Hard times, good times, but I think I am still, today we have February 2021, and I think I'm still not in this civilian life, because once legionnaire, legionnaire forever. That's it. Yeah. My friends, thanks to listen to me and to my histories. Amitié, legionnaire, I wish you good luck. I wish you good health. Stay safe, brothers. Amitié, legionnaire, you're so much good. Bye-bye. No coffee, no worky. Just show you a little bit my mug. I'm very proud of. Good job, I think. They made a good job, you know. Here we have Thomas Gast, and here we have the crest of the second rep, and no coffee, no worky. I love it. Yeah. Bye-bye. Have a good one. Dans la brume, la rocaille, les jeunes combat. Malgré l'ennemi, la mitraille, les jeunes tu vaincras. Strange world outside.